Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today is another therapy update video. We just left the doctor's office and I think Savannah had a pretty good session today.
Mm-hmm. This one's a little bit different, guys.
Also, it's really freaking hot. We just last week had, it was like -20 for like 10 days straight or something, and now it's 48 degrees.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's 100 degrees.
Yeah, it was so cold too, and it was like snowy and icy, and we couldn't even drive last week. Like last week for therapy, we did it virtually, you know, so.
Yeah. And now it's hot out.
Yeah. Coffee. Because I always beg her to get me a drive-through.
Sweet tea today.
Okay, so, should I start?
Yep.
Okay, so we started just like with a basic update of like things that have been going on through the week or whatever, like, you know, how things have been going, you know, my grounding, we talked about a little bit, basically resolved that whole issue. And then we started talking about something that I've been doing a lot. I mean, I've done it my whole life, right? Mm-hmm. It's been like my whole life. But I've been doing this like a lot lately to the point where it's like every 10 minutes, right? You can agree. It's probably like every time I talk to you.
It's every word out of your mouth.
Yeah, every time I have a conversation with my mom, this thing happens, bro. So we talked about reassurance today. That was the topic of the day. Oh my gosh, we can have like a little theme song. Topic of the day.
Oh my god.
Da-da! Reassurance.
God.
So this segment is reassurance. Sorry, I'm acting dumb. Okay, so we talked about reassurance, and I have been, okay, this is kind of embarrassing to say, but you honestly can probably figure this out by how I act in my mom's videos anyway. I'm constantly bugging my mom and like asking her if I'm annoying her, asking her if I'm pretty, asking her if I'm ugly, asking her if I'm fat, asking her if I look good in these jeans or whatever, asking her if I'm a bad person or I'm lazy or whatever the case is. It could be anything. Literally, I've asked her everything. But so in the past week, I've been asking her those questions like all constantly, like to the point where like it's been getting worse because I've been asking her so much that it's backfiring and making my anxiety even worse.
Yeah, because I'm legit getting annoyed.
Yeah, so then I ask even more. Even Dad has been noticing, I think.
Probably.
So we talked about that, and that's been a problem that I always just saw it as like my anxiety, you know, and my insecurities. Like I need reassurance or whatever, or validation, and that's why I also like therapy. I like getting the validation. But we discovered that it's part of my OCD, which was really big for me and surprising because I never thought of it that way. But when I explain it to you, it'll make a lot of sense. So OCD. Well,
you started thinking it was just anxiety.
Yeah. I thought it was just anxiety and like a mix of that with like my insecurities, you know. So OCD is obsessions and compulsions, right? And so this is a little bit of both. The obsession is the thought, whatever the thought is, like, oh, I'm annoying her, oh, I'm a bad person, whatever it is, she's mad at me. That's the obsession, and the thought that, like, I'm a bad person. And then the compulsion is I act out on it by asking her and asking her and asking her, and I keep asking her until I get the answer that I want. And even when she gives me the right answer, if she says it in the slightest wrong tone of voice, it's not the answer that I want, and I ask again and I'm not satisfied. So we figured out that that's like an OCD thing, which makes a lot more sense to me now because it's so persistent. I don't think she ever thought of it as OCD really either.
No, but now looking back on it, I can see how it is because you want me to answer you in a very precise way.
Yeah.
The same way me and you have our physical OCDs where things have to be a very precise way.
Yeah, because if you know what, like with OCD, whatever your compulsion is, you do it until it feels just right. Mm-hmm. And so what I do is I ask for validation and reassurance until it feels satisfying to me. So we talked a lot about that because the truth is my mom lately has actually been kind of getting annoyed about it, which you can't like blame her because she wants her space and we've been locked in the house all the time, and you know, I've been having really bad timing and asking her while she's busy or something. So before I tell you the next part of that, we also did talk about how if I feel like lazy or something, or like I tell myself an irrational thought like that, then something I can do, because I have a hard time convincing myself that it is irrational. Like I'm able to recognize, yeah, that's irrational, but I have a hard time in the moment saying, yeah, that's irrational, I need to stop. But I think if I said something like I'm lazy and then I go and do something productive, then that's enough evidence for me to be like, yeah, that's wrong, that's irrational, because I'm doing something and distracting myself from the thought at the same time. So then we had my mom come in the room so we could talk about the reassurance and stuff.
Figured out it was OCD.
Yeah, and we came up with a plan as a group because obviously she's a part of this, you know, whether she likes it or not. So we talked about it, so I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about it.
Well, she was saying that I need to ask Savannah when she starts doing this. Now, what kind of thought is that? Do you think this is irrational or not irrational?
Yeah.
That way Savannah can then decide for herself or figure out for herself, yeah, this is irrational, I shouldn't be doing this. And also, I need to obviously continue reassuring her.
Yeah.
And did she say something like, also be the first one to come to you about a compliment or something?
Oh,
Which,
I said
I do that.
Yeah, but I said like maybe like because I usually ask to hang out with you or spend time with you at a bad timing, maybe if you initiated like, hey, let's do something together right now on your timing, then I won't have to feel guilty about it. And I think it would be better because then it's like she wants to spend time with me. Obviously she's not annoyed because she asked, you know? And we talked about making lists. So I make lists as it is. I am like, honestly, I'm the stereotypical OCD person in that way. I like to keep like organized lists and stuff, like to-do lists all the time, and like plans of like the next week or whatever. But usually what I do is I set my goals too high, and then when I don't finish the list or whatever it is, then I feel bad and I'm like, well, I'm a failure. But she had the idea that I could start putting very simple tasks on the list that I do day to day anyway.
Yeah, like got dressed today, took a shower today, ate breakfast today. Things that are just normal, everyday things for everybody, but the more small things like that she writes on the list, the more she's gonna mark off that she accomplished it, and then it's gonna look like she accomplished a lot that day.
Yeah.
Because that still is doing something.
Because like even if it is like one of my homework assignments or something, if I start getting like one done a day, then I can tell myself I'm productive. I did that today, you know, I did something today. I got up off the couch and did that or whatever, you know, whatever the case may be, even if it's not homework, because that's usually the one where I'm like, I'm a failure, I didn't finish that. She said I can even do small things like going to get the mail. That's what Samantha said. I think, was that before? I think that was before she was in the room. She's like, you could go get the mail, and that's you getting up, moving, you know, doing something.
Bring the garbage can in.
She also said that, take the trash out, which I don't want to do that. That's not my job. So yeah, that was basically like a lot of what we talked about. I'm just working on, you know, reassuring myself too, because like I definitely know what I think is irrational, because like, for instance, like I even talked about like whenever I'm confident in myself, I see that as like, oh, I'm a narcissist. And when I see other people who are confident in themselves, obviously some people are actually like conceited, but I don't look at them and I'm like, oh, they're not allowed to like themselves. That's narcissistic. And then also, we talked about goals too. I had to make goals for the appointment. Leather jacket.
I knew you were going to say that.
I had to make goals. Sorry, someone just walked by with a leather jacket on.
Every time Savannah sees somebody with a leather jacket, she goes nuts.
I love leather jackets. I can't help it. Especially men in leather jackets. Baby.
Okay. You
insert a picture of Cody Fern wearing a leather jacket. Okay, anyway. So I had a couple goals that I told her too, because she had me do that for homework. So yeah, we made the goals and tweaked one of them a little bit because I worded it wrong, I guess. So we made it better.
So, was that basically it then today?
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, me and Savannah are going to work on this whole, not issue, but this whole thing with her needing reassurance all the time. And,
We'll update you.
yeah, we'll update you and see how that's going.
It would be funny if every time I asked for reassurance or something, you like filmed me doing it and like kept track of how many times I did it.
I would run out of storage.
Or just so that you can show me how much I actually do it, write down every time I do it and like the time. They'll be like 1 minute apart.
Yeah, and then you could show it to your therapist.
And she'll be like, oh. And then I'm going to the doctor tomorrow.
Yeah, that sucks. We have to go all the way back there again tomorrow, guys. Because she has a regular med check. Alrighty, well, that's probably it for today then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and hit the notification bell, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye, poopies.